Today we are going to use this Fabric Cafe 3-yard quilt book called Quilts in the Jiffy. I will be making Oh My Stars using, and some people have asked me where you can buy these. These books you can buy, like I've seen them in every single quilt shop, believe it or not. Soft Squares carries them, Bear Creek carries them, Carmen's carries them, and of course Fabric Cafe. This is their number and their information. Today, like I said, we're going to be making Oh My Stars. Let me get back to that page. But we are going to have a twist. We are going to be using half-yard cuts. If you recall, I had opened a mystery half-yard bundle, I think it was something like that, from this company, Bear Creek. This is the information for them. And I think it was $25 maybe that they had a sale on this. And I got 10 half yards. If you recall, those 10 half yards were like all, I don't know, like sea feeling fabrics. So let me show you the 6 half yards. So this one that I'm showing you right now, that's not part of the 3-yard quilt. So a 3-yard quilt is just that 3 yards. I'm using 6 half yards. I pulled this out because it came with my mystery, and I think I'm going to use this for the binding. I like the fat 2.5-inch binding. So if you want the fat 2.5-inch binding in the book, it does say to buy more. So, you know, I think I'm going to use this as my binding. But if I didn't and I wanted to use the economy binding, there's plenty here to do that with this piece. I just am not going to do economy binding. I'm going to do the 2.5. So there's that. Now, the tutorial is using the half yard. So we are using this fabric and this fabric. So this fabric, this fabric. We're using this fabric. We're using this fabric. These are the fabrics that came in that mystery bundle. This fabric and this one in the white colorway. So those are the 6 that I'm using. So let's get right to it. So the first step is making half square triangles. And so in the book, it'll tell you the size to cut. And what I've done is I've taken my 2 half square triangles. I shouldn't say 2 square half triangles. My 2 squares that are going to be turned into half square triangles. And I'm going to put the lighter one on my sandpaper board that I made, and I use a pencil. I've been reading up about those friction pens more and more and more and more. I don't even want to use them. Friction just came out with something from their company regarding quilting and using the pens, and they say don't. So you know what? Because they say, I guess the lines eventually due to sunlight will turn yellow. So I'm just going to stay away from it. I don't know. I saw it and I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. So I'm going back to pencils. So I take these, I put down the first and I put down the second. Now at this point you can pin. I normally don't pin, but for the tutorial reasons, we're going to pin. This is my sandpaper board. All I did was just take a piece of cardboard and glue a piece of sandpaper right to it. I'm going to bring you down so that you can see what I'm up to. Let's see. And maybe move you back a little. There you go. So now I have my square with this line, and I'm going to sew on both sides with a scant 1/4 inch. Oh, you know what? I just realized it doesn't matter. The thread. I just realized that I had a different kind of thread in here. It's okay. We'll go with it. I'm working on some sample quilts, and I didn't change out the thread color last night. So here we go. It's not too terrible. And now I'm going to cut. See how you have it? And I'm going to cut on the pencil line. I have bigger shears right here, but of course I'm using these. I'll pull this out. And now I'm going to come over here to my little, I have one of those handy carts, and I think we all have these. And I bought that little like wooden top. I think you can get those at Michael's. And then I made a video on how to make this little sewing top. So go on my YouTube channel, hit videos, and you will see how to make a mini ironing board top for your cart. Oh, I have to put this way. Flip this over. There we go. So I have that. Now I've taken I use a block lock, and look over here, if you notice, I have this little pegboard and my block locks are in here. So I would take a block lock and then I would size them and trim them down to the pattern, which is in the book, the block size and the pattern. And then that's the first step. Oh, here, I'm gonna iron these as well. So need these ironed here. All right, so now I have these 4. And now, just like Julia Child, we go from this to already trimmed to this. So now that I have those, I am going to go ahead and make my first block. And that is using some squares. And the directions are fabulous. They tell you exactly what you would need. And then we are going to place the triangles. And just like they have, I think I could show you that. Let's see, I don't know. It gives too much information. They give you diagrams. They give you diagrams for everything. So you just follow the diagrams. And now my center for this block is blue. And there we go. So I'm just looking because I had made most of the quilt. I'm just kind of showing you how I made each block, and then I'll show you the quilt. So now I have, it's like a 9 patch. So I'm going to go ahead and sew. And basically, this is a friendship star, right? We know what this is. This is a traditional block called the friendship star. And I'm kind of webbing it. So when I cut this out, the 2 half yards, you kind of have to just play with your half yards. So I looked at the pattern, and when I looked at the pattern, I'm like, what do I want my stars to be? And then I went ahead and looked at the cutting instructions, and I'm like, well, 2 half yards make a yard. So you can look at it like that. You could just pick 2 half yards and say, okay, these 2 half yards are going to be fabric 1. And these 2 half yards are going to be cut, and those are going to be fabric 2. And then, yeah. And then you could say, you know, these last 2 half yards are going to be fabric 3. You can absolutely 100% do that. But I actually started going that route and decided that it just didn't really work for me, as far as, because I'm trying to use what was sent to me. Well, I paid for it, but you know, what was sent to me in that mystery. So that made me think a little bit deeper on where, instead of just going by these two colors are going to be fabric 1, these two colors are going to be fabric 2, and these two colors are going to be fabric 3. I really kind of colored the block in my head, and then from there I went, let's see where these pieces are to cut. So maybe be a little bit more complicated. So I've webbed these, and now I'm just going to come over and I will pin right here. And I pinned so that when you iron, it goes out like that. And they nest beautifully right there. Let me show you so that this piece lays flat out. Okay. So I'm going to come in here and do the next. And we are going to go to the next one. I really need to start a leaders and enders project now that I'm using this sewing machine while my other one is going to go in the shop. Just haven't had a moment to do that. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm working on some 4 patches. Why don't I do that? Right here in front of me. All right. So, again, I pinned where these are in and those are out. Everything is nested and flat. And then we're going to come in and prick ourselves. I have not had luck. I know people use clips instead of pins. I just haven't had luck where my stuff doesn't shift. All right, so now here we go. We have our block. And now all we have to do is take it to the ironing station over here. I like to do both sides. And then I will show you how I pressed as well, so you can see and get more direction. I do know that in the Fabric Cafe books, they do not have a pressing guide. I know that. So therefore I am going to show you the back. So as you can see, these were pressed out, this was pressed in, and these were pressed out. Now, if you notice, I have another seam right there. So because I had decided to not go ahead and do like the whole, these 2.5 yards are for this color, I actually was a little short. And I had to, as, what is her name? Sister Chick, I think her name is. Di, yes, Di from Sister Chick. She calls this Franken, and so does April actually, Franken piecing. And so I had to Franken piece some of these so that I can get the square size I needed. But you don't notice it. I mean, look at it. You really don't notice it. So it was okay. It was fine. So now we have this one block. We're going to set that aside. The next block that we will be making is actually from a strip set. So you are going to make, in my case, because I had the 2 fabrics that I chose for the second block, you make a strip set. In the book, it calls for 1 strip set of 1 fabric. Again, that's because it's a 1-yard quilt. I am using 2.5 yards. So I chose my 2.5 yards to be this focal piece and this color. And so I made a half strip set. I hope that makes sense. So instead of 1 full strip set, I cut that with the fabric in half and I made 2. And then I cut that to the size that's in the book. So now we're going to start off with this one here, and that goes down, and it's almost like making a log cabin, but it's a half, kind of. It's not really traditional but it is, in a way. So I took the strip set and then I added the sides to it, to the first side. And I am going to come here. I know people finger press or use the roller. I'm going to just press. So now I have this and I'm pressing out. My next piece that I'm going to put on here, I just am following on my board, is the blue. And then that goes on the top of this like upside down L. That's what I'll call it, an upside down L right now. And put that there. Okay, so you know what? This is driving me nuts. So I'm working on some 4 patches. So let's make some work here. All right, and there we go. I hope I don't confuse you. This is I'm gonna call this my leaders and enders project right now. There. So now I have this and I'm gonna press this up. I hope everyone's doing great today. I mean, with all these storms, now we're gonna take this piece and we're going to put it to the right of it. Have been crazy. I mean, really crazy. We've had storms. As a matter of fact, right now it's snowing quite a bit. We didn't have school today. So therefore, I'm making some content today because this weekend I really just relaxed. This past weekend I really didn't do much. I spent a lot of time with family. It was much needed family time. I needed a little time as myself. All right, so now I'm going to open this one up and I just press out. If you want to open up the seams, you're welcome to. Press out. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my other piece right on here. Oh, this is much better. I'm not getting all those long tails. Why I didn't do this earlier, I don't know. All right, so now we're going to press this out again. Oops. Need to bring this closer. I normally just use this little side thing I pull out, but I wanted to show you my little cart ironing board. I actually like it a lot. I normally have it on the other side. I come in here. Oh, I guess I should have ran that other piece. All right. All right, so here we go. We have our block. So now, these are all my other pieces. I'm going to show you what I've done. When I said that to you, I had to Franken piece. See, the square needed to be bigger than the width of this, so I just put 2 together. And then I cut my squares out of these pieces. All right, so let's come on over here. Come with me. And let's see what I'm up to. Hi. So here we go. We have this block and this block. And as you can see, they're right all in here. I'm going to put in this block in this spot. And this block goes over here. I have 2 more blocks to make. I just haven't finished them. So this is my 1/2 yard, 3 yard quilt. And what I've done is I went ahead and pieced each block together. So once I laid it out on my design board and I liked the way I laid it out, I went ahead and sewed a row, just like this. And look at the back, just in case if people want to see pressing. All right, so that's what I did. After I sewed the rows, I sewed 2 rows together. Here's the back. Everything is laying nice and flat. And here is the 2. Now from here, after I finish the last 2 blocks, I'm gonna sew this big chunk to this chunk and this chunk to this chunk. Now, as far as the sides. Well, as far as the sides, you can do a scrappy border, right? But no, I want it to be a little, jazz it up a little. So I don't know if you could see, here we go. I decided to strip piece 3 of these together. And these are gonna be my sides. Now, because it would look strange, even though I can do it where it would be like this, the corner would be like this, I decided we're gonna use cornerstones. Big giant cornerstones on the top. So as you could see up here, or you can probably see it better over there, that will be there. This strip will come right there across. And I don't think it's too bad. I mean, it's really bright. It's cheerful. I think some little kid is going to love it. Or if you're into like the ocean and marine life, I think it's good. I think it's good. I'm kind of happy with it. So that's what I did. Let me just show you again. This is where I got those half-yard cuts I bought in the mystery bag. And then this is what I created with the mystery bag using Oh My Stars. That comes from Quilts in a Jiffy from Fabric Cafe. And I hope this inspires someone to maybe get a mystery bag from anywhere. It could be anywhere. It just happens to be here. I've gotten some from Cotton Cuts, and I've got some on order from another vendor. I'm waiting for those to come to do an unboxing for you. So, I mean, Lynn has some mystery boxes. I don't know, though, if they're half-yard cuts or 1 yard. I think hers is just regular random. But in any case, you can really even grab those random ones and make something. So, therefore, that's what I did. I hope someone tries it out. I'm sure you guys have half-yard bundles and you want to try something out, and you probably, even if you don't have this book, you may have another Fabric Cafe book. Yeah, explore. Figure it out. I don't know. I just like to use my stash. This is me trying to use my stash. And me also convincing myself, because I've already bought this month and I've used this fabric this month, that I could buy more, even though I have plenty of stash. But, you know, it's a challenge for me. It's a challenge for me. I like the challenge. So I hope everyone has a fabulous day. Pass it forward. Take care of yourself. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Oh my goodness, I, for some reason, need subscribers in order to get to the next level. And I really want to thank everyone who has subscribed, because it's made a world of difference. And I just want to thank you all out there for your support. Like my videos, comment. I just got back to everybody today. I know I hadn't returned any comments in a couple of days, and just, you know, I'm just doing some family time and stuff and just get myself all healthy for, you know, the upcoming month. And have a fabulous day. Take care. Bye.